What is up, Magic YouTube? Yeah, I'm actually really excited to make this video tonight. I know I'm behind. I'm not cool enough. I don't have people sending me packs early or anything. I gotta wait in the mail like some guy, just some jabroni. But I will say, I'm really excited. Ravnica Remastered, man. The least pre-ordered worst product ever that was going to kill Magic and might secretly save it. I mean, there's so much going on with this product. You've got people coming out and setting base buy prices on these lands. We thought, I thought shock lands were going to be $5 from history, if not $1. And what do you know? The market's stabilizing 10 to 15, which is a great price for those, even if it is what they want is a more playable game piece. 10 to 15 bucks is great, especially when there's choices out there and the original ones get to play in that space too. Other than that, it's an interesting product. Like, I love Ravnica. Ravnica, the first set, and even the second time we went to Ravnica, Return to Ravnica, some of my fondest memories. And then War of the Spark and Dragon's Maze, like, the most important plane kind of went through the mud. It's why we're going to Dominaria more. But a really interesting product, too, because it's very much positioned around reprints. A lot of cards that they want to see Cryptghast, Bruvac, the Eloquent, there's some cards they really need to put back into circulation to kind of meet their current strategy. And I think they probably looked inside and were like, slam dunk, dude. Time Spiral, Dominaria, Ravnica, like those are the big three. We were gonna get Innistrad Remastered, I guarantee. It was just between Midnight Hunt and Crimson Vow. That was not they had already dragged that one through the mud. They couldn't afford to reprint that one yet, and we'd been back to Zendikar recently. They were running out of favorite planes that they hadn't cashed in on yet. And again, if you're coming to this channel, I usually try not to be that cynical. I'm not purely cynical. That's just my perspective. So again, super excited to open this. I think we're going to have a really cool look through like some of Magic's history while I share some thoughts. But to start out, one thing I wanted to show everybody was just really quick because I got this in a case. We might do a couple videos. I'm actually going to hold on to some of these. These are collector's boosters are starting to rebound, and it might be cool to just sit on a few of these and see what they do long term. I have a hard time doing that a lot of time with collector's boosters because I like to open them, keep a few, flip the rest, do the thing. But these are an interesting one. But the thing I noticed was this, 10/23. So that's effectively production date. And I, in my day job, do work with overseas manufacturing, printing, and production. And I can tell you that, typically what that means with a date code production like this and a box stamped with this is that this probably did run on a factory line, from in less than a month, like to print, produce, and package all of these out of one printer at scale. I would imagine, would be something they start early in October and it's boxed and ready to ship late October. Now, whether Wizards put this on a container, which, I'll say international shipping containers leaving Japan or ports in China and arriving on the west coast of the United States, roughly takes 4 to 8 weeks. Then there's that time where they receive it and warehouse it. So I imagine that's why we see a product like this in January of the year, is just because they probably landed in November, was warehoused early December, and then sent through the distribution networks in January. What it also says is when those pre-order numbers were low leading up to it, it does cause concern internally because this is made. Like, you figure if they printed this at this point, as we kind of know from stuff Mero's told us, it was probably developed a year or two ago and then finalized through the art system that I imagine is about 6 months to 3 months ahead, depending on how much flow they got, changes, etc. Like, there's some flux. But the art file sent to the printer itself is like bled and inked for print, effectively. Like, the file is finalized as far as color values and bleeds and set as a print sheet. Yeah, probably months in advance. And I imagine because what this manufacturer is going to want to do to maintain profitability is to just move from one SKU line into the next, right? We're going to facilitate all these print sheets, cut them, wrap them, box them, drop them. And while that end of the business is doing the box and drop part, the next line is running so we can get quality checks. So that effectively the manufacturer is like, I can get as much quality paid deliverables produced on my line as tightly as possible. Anyways, I've talked way too long. We're 4 minutes in the video and you just heard me talk about my boring day job. Just interesting to see that I don't always notice this on all the cases, but just to give you some context, these have existed as concepts for a year. They've existed as physical cards since October. back when Magic was still doomed. And we had no idea that, Ixalan would be amazing and that, you know what I mean? Like, these were coming out and it's like, no one's pre-ordering this and it's Ravnica and it's a failure and the company is going to fold. And here we are. And it's like, by the time they hit our hot little hands, do we love Magic again? Well, let's open this and find out. Serialized Shockland, we love Magic again. It's official. You heard it here first. I'll title the video that, if that's the case. I doubt it. We're not, that's the beauty of chasing serialized cards. You can't expect them, but it does work. I mean, I'll say every time I buy like a case or almost a whole case of collector's boosters, and then you open one and you're like, that was pretty good. And then you open another, you're like, that was even better. Does it keep getting better? And then you open 2 or 3 more and you get that amazing box and you're like, I've opened them all. Might as well just finish the job. So let's see though. Here's our first taste. I've watched some openings online. Beautiful Niv Mizzet art. Super foily, shiny. Look at it. Ooh. And here we go. Collector's boosters. Let's take a look. Beautiful foil tokens on top. A little Selesnya Guild there. It's a Vigilance one. Oh, boom. Wow. Okay. Oh, YouTube. I love you. Look at that. Serialized Krenko. And actually, like, a card I like. I love playing Krenko. I play Perforos Red. He's amazing. Serialized card off the bat. What do you know? Do the hits, the hits just keep coming. Boy, our lucky star is shining on us. So yeah, we're gonna sleeve that up. Bear with me just a moment while we get her all sleeved up there. Not the most crazy number, 474, but a beautiful card. Take a look. I mean, the surface looks great. There's a little that might be on the sleeve, but otherwise, pretty centered. Maybe not perfect top to bottom. Left to right's pretty good. It might be a little, but really good. I mean, the edges look good. The card looks really good. So love that. Beautiful. Serialized Krenko. Let's go. But it also makes you wonder. I've started to see people realize that of like, okay, if ever, oh my God. Do you see what's next, guys? The friggin' full art Cyclonic Rift. Is Magic saved? If they're all just amazing cards, is Magic saved? I mean, I'm sleeving this up too. It's anime Cyclonic Rift right after a serialized Krenko. Yo, Blazing Archon. Yo, this might be a silly video. All right. This might not be top loader worthy like the Krenko is, but we'll still do it. Look at that, y'all. We're doing it. Hey, I'm going to call my mom after this and be like, Mom, this may not make sense to you, but I am the best Magic pack opener ever. This side of Bad Boy Gaming. Shout out to Bad Boy Gaming. Love that channel. Blazing Archon, so sick. Man, I love this card. Downshifted to regular rare, but hasn't seen many printings. And I will say, this is cheesy. Kiddos at home, this is what old Magic cards were. 9 mana for a 5/6 flying. But, in Commander, and especially if you are out there in meta games that are not particularly interactive on creature removal, or you have a fun way to just put this guy out, Dragon Arch, Monster Manual, a way to just produce a creature. Creatures can't attack you. Like, just do that. You're just like, are you moving to combat? And they're like, I am. And you're like, oh, okay, this guy's about to kill me with Prosh. Let me Monster Manual Blazing Archon in and say, go ahead. And he's like, I'm going to food chain the other guy. And you're like, perfect, Blazing Archon. So we're entering a fog meta in Commander. And this is fog in the most not written the way fog works, but keeps you from getting attacked ever. I love it. Blazing Archon. Legion Warboss. Hey, this is a fun card too. I've been actually looking at getting one of these. This guy's price was up there for a while. He's a little more than I wanted to pay for a cheap goblin, because at the beginning of combat on your turn, make a 1/1 red token and it gains haste. And then he's got Mentor, which isn't the best ever, but I have looked at like Rabble Master effects to play with Krenko in my Perforos Red, because a goblin that makes another goblin so that you can then tap Krenko to make more goblins is what Perforos wants to do to win, because the goal is really how quickly can I have 1 or 2 turns to produce enough creatures to kill the board, right? Like kill my opponents. So Legion Warboss, love to see it. Coiling Oracle, gosh, that takes me back. This card was so sick. I believe it was Dissension, which was the 3rd block of the original Ravnica. Yeah, Ravnica Guild Pack Dissension. Simic came out, and I mean, hey, we may be boomers. I might play Boomer Magic on this channel and remember Blazing Archon, but I'll tell you, Coiling Oracle was the real deal. Back in the day, you could jam this guy in Standard for the value. When he enters the battlefield, reveal your top card. If it's a land, put on the battlefield. I mean, he's a 1/1 that's effectively rampant growth in some cases, or a card draw. Like, not a bad deal back in the day. And he's an elf. So good old Coiling Oracle, very nice. Creeping Chill, don't know that card. Cloudfin Raptor, beautiful old frame, so wackadoo. A nice little foil Guildgate. Vindictive Vampire, don't care much for that. Terramander, I think there's some hype on this guy right now. He came really low in my draft the other day when I tried to draft this set. You know, just some more. Oh, the Rusalka's there back. Man, that gives me the feels, dude. Like, I had just left high school. I was like 19 or 20, I think, when Ravnica came out. This is like kind of blowing my mind right now. Scorched Rusalka, Burglar Rat, that's a Return to Ravnica, little Pack Rat's friend, and Arrestor Zeal. So, holy cow, holy cow. That first pack was like literally better than I expected to do. Like, this puts this whole box on a high upside. So yeah, let's keep ripping, kids. What do we got to lose now? Okay, so we got an Orzhov Spirit. I like that every guild has like a token. These in foil, those little embeds look great. Hoo-hoo! Full art foil, Watery Grave. Ooh-hoo! We're hot. We're trotting tonight, kids, boys and girls. I'm gonna sleeve that up too. I mean, I know, again, Shocklands were supposed to be worthless, but Watery Grave, yeah, it's a blue, oh my god, an Overgrown Tomb right underneath. Well, kids, it's not a bad night to be me, I'll tell you that much. Oh, Sphinx's Rev? Sorry, I need to open these better on camera. It's just, I'm trying to sleeve up the goods here. You know, and you could, I mean, I think it's arguable to say that, like, yeah, the expectation here, Mr. Cat and your cards, is that if every single pack you open is just nuts, aren't these worth effectively pack retail price $12.99? So if you can pull two of these out of pack, $6 should be what? But like, come on, we know better. We know better. And especially if they're stabilizing at 15, what does that say? Like, was this a $35 pack of Magic or 12? You know, I think we're in an interesting spot to have to consider that. We'll make a Shocklands pile. What about that? We love Shocklands in our house. And I've been a good boy these last few years. I have not invested cash into Shocklands, knowing that they are not protected from reprint. So opening them this way is fine. I'm not going to tell you it's the best value ever by singles, but, you know, it's life. Sphinx's Rev with the old frame, dope card. I love Sphinx's Rev. I wasn't playing much Standard at the time when it dominated, but just seeing how it worked to be like, oh, aggro decks? Well, if I can just keep you from killing me, at turn 10, I'm going to Sphinx's Rev you so hard that it will get me to the next one and you're just done after that. Like, I'm just too many cards and too much life ahead of you. Gorgeous card. Love to see it. Oh, they did these split cards. Never been a big fan of these. Warrant and Warden. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of these split cards, to be totally honest with you. There's been one or two that were interesting in the past, but by and large, I don't love these. Quicken. Man, that's a great reprint. This is a great reprint. This is a part of a lot of different like combos. I know combos use that. And look at that gorgeous foiling on the old frame in blue. Man, this is a cool set. Reprinting some of this old school stuff. Mage Right Stone. Untap target creature that has a tap and its activation. Like, that's a combo piece for Commander that we want reprinted. Oh, look at this little Call of the Conclave. That Centaur's got some thick little legs there. 2 mana for a 3/3. Not quite a watch. Well, beautiful Signet and foil. Again, there's some value. I mean, it's a Signet. Loaming Shaman. Man, this guy was clutch back in the day. This guy would go in the Dredge deck. Back in the day, kids, Dredge was in Standard. Yeah, back in the day, this allowed Dredge to function in different formats, because after you dredged, when he enters the battlefield, you could put any number of those cards back into your library. So you wouldn't lose to Dredge. You could dredge more aggressively, because what Dredge needed was an aggressive Dredge enabler. Lightning Helix. God, I used to play this card so much. I would put this on the Sunforge Hammer, whatever that little Sunforge Hammer is that lets you like shoot instants out of your deck. I forget what it's called. Lightning Helix. That's the jam. It's Lightning Bolt that gains life. Like, it's so tempo-y. It's Lightning Bolt, but more. And this was in a time when Lightning Bolt hadn't come back to Standard. Do remember that too. It took to like M10 for them to reprint Lightning Bolt that Standard could be reformatted around it. And it's nice that's a valve they hit, that it is a Lightning Bolt or non-Lightning Bolt Standard. But dude, Lightning Helix, that was a pet card back in the day. Rootborn Defensive, Compulsive Research, another great card. Target player draws 3 cards, discard 2 unless they discard a land. Just fine. And sometimes you really want to discard that land. And Crucible of Worlds was in this set originally, so you know, a great card to pair with your Crucible Worlds. All right, man, 2 packs in. So that pack had 2 Shocklands. Holy cow. And our pack before had Anime, Cyclonic Rift, and Chronicle Mob Boss. Oh, should I just stop? Are we EV'd? No, you all at home on YouTube deserve a full video, and I do too. Oh boy, foil anime Bop. I love it. I love Bop, and there was a long time Bop was like not worth much, and then it kind of, it's so glad to see Bop stabilized again. This card deserves to not be dollar bulk. It deserves to be a few bucks. And look at that beautiful anime foil Bop. I love you. And a Watery Grave. Let's go. Watery Grave. We're just going to make a money slot. I don't even know what we're doing anymore. 2 Watery Graves. I love it. That used to be $50 back in the day. Maybe more. Karlov of the Ghost Council in this old frame. Still at Mythic, but holding it down. You know, he's kind of gone from one of those little funky commander reprints to like a pretty beloved commander. You gain, whenever you gain life, put counters on him and then remove 6 counters, exile a creature. Like, big life gain aristocrats card. Love it, love it. And then Ral Zarek, you know, awesome. It's a foil. Planeswalkers have really fallen. Remember when, like, if you opened a foil Planeswalker, that's like a $20 to a $50 bill, and I would be like, I don't know if this is $5. But Ral Zarek, you know, he tap target permanent, then untap another. You can build decks around that strategy straight up in Commander. That could be like, you know, you're 2 cards away from almost some permanent loops. And his last ability is cute. I mean, this guy has a lot of ways to win Magic cooked into him. He won't win you the game by himself, but he'll make it easy to win the game. Frilled Mystic. Molder Vinecloak. Man, Silhana Ledgewalker. This used to be expensive for Pauper. Like, hard to buy or sold out. Great card. 1/1 Hexproof for green aggro. Love it, love it. Oh my golly! How is there just a foil Blood Crypt in here? Like, how does that make sense? Why would you have this much value this late in the pack? I mean, so we're on 4 Shocklands. Oh my gosh. Look at that. It's so dope. 4 Shocklands? Oh boy. If the bad packs are 2 Shocklands, like, go buy some of this. If you're at home watching this, go buy a pack of this. Holy cow. Quicken again, Light Up the Stage. That's a card people love. I know people love Light Up the Stage. Drift of Phantasm, Transmute. Insanely powerful ability. Persistent Petitioners. And Fist of the Iron One. I used to even play that card. You guys, back in the day, this was dope in the Convoke deck because you give your big fat... there was a guy that if he had more creatures out there, got bigger. So you'd put this on him, make 2 creatures, give that guy trample, and you could kind of do some early aggro. You know, it was cheese, but like that. I mean, hey, look, it's not... Magic's not always been great. Okay. Oh my gosh. So we're 3 packs in and we are just like batting 1,000. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Saffron Token. Oh my golly, look at that. Foil Life from the Loam. Oh my gosh, I forgot about this card too. This card used to be so busted. I mean, I'm sure it still is. It has the word dredge on it. Of course it's busted. But Mythic Foil. Retro Frame Life from the Loam. Good golly. Oh, and another Cranko. Love me some Cranko. Love me some Cranko. Although he's kind of ugly, this anime Cranko. I don't like his face. Like, I like Cranko. Let me know at home. Which one do you like better? Because that retro foily serialized frame Cranko is way doper. Cranko. He's kooky, this guy. This little anime goofball. Oh, Borborygmos Rage. This is the guy that made the ruling, right? Because the dude just said Borborygmos and not Borborygmos in Rage and like lost a PTQ from that? Or Pro Tour, right? I don't know. This guy's not bad, actually, though. This Borborygmos is a little playable. Looks like he's downshifted to just regular rare. Oh, and another foil Sphinx's Rev. Love that. Like, Sphinx's Rev is a card I wanted to play more in Commander. So, glad to have those, not have to shell out a few bucks to pick up those singles. Arboreal Grazer. Condemn. Man, what a classic card. Selesnya Guildgate. Those retro frame Guildgate looks beautiful. Simic Guildgate with the foil. Beautiful little imprint there on the bottom of the card. Sky Husser. This card is awesome. Used to run him back in the day. Yeah, sick card. Siege of Towers. Man, some great cards in this set. Really taking me back. Act of Treason and Face Feathers. Both playable in my book. Both playable in my book. Act of Treason, not amazing, but fun with fling effects. I like these sort of like pacifism effects. Personally, 4 is a lot. 4 is a lot. Like, that's not removal anymore, but I'm telling you, kids, back in 2005, you could play that. That's a card. Cage of Hands, Ghostly Prison, those were cards back in the day. All right. Whew. Trying to cool off here. How many packs did we open of this now? 4? And we're just like going to the moon? What is going on? What is even going on? Karn's Bastion. Okay, I did not know about this card, but a land that proliferates is dope, and I think this is another card that will hold value long term. Beautiful foil retro frame land too. Amazing. Love it. Karn's Bastion. Ooh, little anime Domri raid. So you get 2 mythics in every pack. I'm still trying to wrap my head around like what I get out of this thing, because it's like too good. It's like too much. Domri raid, anime Domri. But the anime cards are a lot in this set. I don't know that these hold as much value long term. They seem really easy to get. Domri raid's cool planeswalker though. You know, cheap, low cost planeswalker in Gruul is what you want. Look at the top card. If it's a creature, reveal it, put it in your hand. Great. On turn 2, because we're in Gruul, on turn 2, he's at 4 loyalty. Like it. -2. Target creature you control fights another creature. Cool. Some removal. Just got to play a creature. And then 7, whatever. You go aggro. So, not the most amazing thing. Playing. Ooh, but that's our boy. That's our boy right there. Cryptghast. Yes. We like black mana in this house. We love Cabal Coffers. So, Cabal Coffers on a guy. He's a spirit. He's got Extort too. He's got Extort. Come on. Did they need to make it better? If this was the card, you'd play it. But we love it. Cryptghast. Let's go. Damn. Unbreakable Formation. You know, I see this on a lot of commander lists too. This is kind of one of those buried secrets, but creatures you control get indestructible, and then if you cast this during your own main phase, in counter decks, this is amazing. Like, you play this before you board wipe and like come, you know, go into combat and just end life. Right? So it's a win con, it's protection, it's interactive. Great card. Unbreakable Formation. Wow, there are some hits in here. Dimir Guildgate, Turnabout, it's fair play. That's what I've always say. Get some Guildgates, you know, it's not bad. Have some Guildgates on case. Man, Skullcrack and Muddle the Mixture, taking back Debt to the Deathless. Love this card. Love it. It's Exsanguinate, but worse. And white. I love Orzhov. So beautiful. Death to the Deathless. Not Death to the Deathless, but Debt to the Deathless. You got to understand, it's very different. You know, this one is you owe something to something that will never die. Death to the Deathless is you saying, you don't have debt and I took out a college loan, I hope you die. 2 very different things. Sprouting Renewal, Quench. Quench is fine. Glowspore Shaman, and a Croconura. I don't even know what that is. Croconura. That sounds rude. Like, if someone told me Croconura, I'd say rude. You know, one thing I'm noticing, though, is on most of the cards, pretty rough edges. Look at that edge work. It's a little rough. It's a little rough. And I know out there for you kids, you Gen Zs, edge work might mean something different to you. But we're keeping it clean here on the channel. All right. I know this is taking a long time, too, and we're like halfway through, so I'm going to pick it up here, but I'm enjoying this. Ooh, Ghostway. Slam in Retro Frame Ghostway. One of the best Blink spells. Classic Blink card. Fibblethip. Anime Fibblethip. So it does look like there's an anime card in every pack. Cute. What a great art, too. I love that. These are beautiful. I'm not a big Fibblethip guy either, but hey, another Legion War Boss. We like him. Nice to see ya. Cindervines. I'm shocked they reprinted this. Whenever an opponent casts a non-creature spell, it deals 1, so it's got kind of a Rurik Thar ability, and then sack it, destroy, you know, a naturalize effect with some burn. Just fine. Hard to think of like the best practical home for that card, though. That to me surprised me. Dark Blast, another classic. I love that art on Dark Blast. Dredge. What the frick are they doing? Dredge and Transmute. Look at those. Those are busted abilities. Don't do that. Orzhov Signet. Conclave Cavalier, Voyager Staff, Remand. Hey, that's a card we play, right? You play Remand. Burn Bright. Look at that. The foiling to bring out the markings on her face is, I guess, their face. I'm not sure. Amazing. I think it's just they have great eyelashes and brows. That's probably why. Mugging, Goblin Electromancer. This was a fun card. You know what's a card I like to play back in the day if we're going to talk about Ravnica? Gelectrode Quicksilver Dagger. Because Gelectrode is a Tim, but you can untap it when you cast an instant or a sorcery. Quicksilver Dagger makes it so that when a creature deals damage, you draw a card. So now it's like you can tap it, deal them a damage, draw a card, play an instant, untap it, tap them again, hit them. So you just load your deck with like Electrolyze and Brainstorm, and it's corny, but it was so fun to play. I missed that little kitchen table stuff. Busted combos with like Merfolk Looter. Mythic's Mastery. Hey, that's not bad. Another Commander staple these days. Commander staple for sure. Not too insane of a price, but definitely a staple. You know what I mean? It is a way to win, kind of. You know, it's I think it's more of the effect Commander wants, and if you get any more powerful or consistent at winning the game, it's CEDH. This is just a big fat effect. So, nice to see. Prime Speaker Zagana. When she enters the battlefield, put X+1/+1 counters on it, where X is the greatest power. And when it enters the battlefield, draw a card. So, you know, just a fun blue-green big Simic commander. Ooh, Infernal Tutor. Hey, now, with the classic art, too, on the old frame. Pimp. That's so dope. Kev Walker. Let's give it up for our boy, Kev. Reveal a card from your hand. Search a card with the same name. Reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle. If you have no cards in your hand, instead search your library for a card, put it in your hand, then shuffle. So the hard part is, in Commander, you cannot utilize this effect. Well, you can. You just won't draw anything unless you're doing tricks. But if you're Hellbent, it works. So and I mean, in other formats, this is a dope tutor. You know what I mean? Like, there are other formats where you like Infernal Tutor as well. And it's Hellbent, so that's interesting. Quasi-Duplicate. Oh, this is a fun one. Create a token that's a copy of target creature you control, and you may cast this card from your graveyard by this card. So, very fun. Just like, dude, you know? I love it. Quasi-Duplicate. Mayhem Devil, not bad. Light Up the Stage, again. It's a beloved card. Skewer the Critics is also a beloved card. Azorius, Orzhov, Rhythm of the Wild. It's the Rhythm of the Wild. Gutter Snipe. There's a while this guy was problematic. Like, people were winning games off of Gutter Snipe. Like, he was an archetype. Go Google, like, Gutter Snipe standard. Kiddos at home, if you didn't live through that era, it'll take you back. I think that was during, like, the Return to Ravnica days before Pack Rat took over. Or, am I thinking of the right card? What was that? There was a black rat that like owned standard for a while too. It makes me feel old to think of these things. Woohoo! Okay, we're opening the God Box. Foil Anime Bruvak? Dude, we're like really ripping some of the very best cards. Like, I don't think I can in good conscience open any more of this product. Because at this point, it would be foolish for me to expect that in this case, there would continue to be nearly as good of cards because we got a breeding pool right behind it. Like, arguably the best Shockland. But yo, Anime Bruvak. We're building a mill deck, kids. Watch out, I'm coming for you. We're taking apart the Nekuzar deck, and we're going back to beating people with tunnel vision. Holy hot hand, hippy hoppy bimboppy. Boy, oh boy. Breeding pool, let's go. Shockland number 5, love to see it. Friggin' Cyclonic Rift, let's go. Hoo-hoo! Damn, Retro Frame Cyclonic Rift. All right. I've been a good boy this year. Keep them coming. You know, it's been a tough week, guys, I will say. Outside of the card game, your boy's been making some big decisions, working through some big things. Stab Wound. Always love the art on Stab Wound. I feel so bad for that little elf. I'm just like, hey, get over here. Let's take a look at that. But it's been a busy, heavy week. So to just come home and make a video for you guys when I'm stoked and I needed to, open some packs, and just go off. Whoo, let's go. We're family now. We are a family now. So let's keep going. Prime Speaker Zagana, just fine. That's an old school art. Cool on that old school frame. A little bit of a bummer mythic, but I've got no room for it. Let's go. Anime Cryptghast. Yo. Love it. Cryptghast. I love this card. Now I've got him. Like, Cryptghast. Let's go. Now, here's a card I've never played with, Arclight Phoenix, but I heard some people talking about how they do really like this card. That there's actually like a fair bit of decks that there's a deck that utilized this pretty effectively. Awesome. Oh, Symbol of Legion. That's a throwback. Put a muster, then create a 1/1. You know, this is just fine. It costs way too much for this ability. Like, proliferate deck slower things, that could be a lot of fun. Totally Lost, Fibblethip. That's our guy. That's when he showed up, you guys. We're going back. Cartel Aristocrat. I love Orzhov weird hats and like the angry ladies of the Orzhov. Always fun. Simic Guildgate, Tamir Guildgate, a Moldervine Cloak. Man, that's a classic friggin' card. Dredge. Like, seeing cards with their OG Dredge art just was like time warping my brain. Azorius Guildmage. The OG Guild Mages are dope. So many good abilities. If you're looking for some budget commander stuff to add to your deck when you're kind of in the fun, highly interactive, good stuff era of your commander meta, look up some Guild Mages, kids. Trust old man Big Cat here. I know. All right. We are about to make our next move. Can it get better? Can it keep going? How crazy. Tajik. He's got haste, he's got mentor, he prevents all non-combat damage that would be dealt to other creatures you control. So that's cool. I guess you play a lot of earthquakes in that deck. Don't love it. Oh, let's go though. Anime, Cloudstone, Curio. This is a really good box. This is a friggin' ridiculous box. Yeah, holy crap. Cloudstone Curio, I mean, what can you say? One of the best combo pieces ever printed. Absolutely broken in decks like Animar. The entire game of Magic is now currently based on ETBs, and it literally is one of the easiest way to get ridiculous repeated value out of ETBs based on conventional deck building concepts. It's an amazing card. What can I tell you? Ooh, rest in peace, RIP. Good hate piece. I know I get stoked. People are like, rest in peace, you're excited about that. This is one of the worst cards ever, but it's not bad to have on hand. You let the graveyard deck win a few, and then you shuffle this in there and you show it to me. You say, look, I got one card that beats you. Maybe just will you play a different deck too now. Love me some RIP. Nice to have. Atomic. You know, this is a card a lot of people kind of like, I think, and try to build funny little decks around. Never too competitive, but he's made a name for himself. Yeah, silly, fun little guy there. Atomic, and then we go through some other stuff. Just some Guild Gates, Plague Crafter, another Ledgewalker though. Love to see it. Wild Cantor, that's a fun card. Man, I remember Wild Cantor. Some new art too. I like the old Wild Cantor with the crazy white hair, kind of screaming. Kind of miss that art. Okay. Gosh, we have done well for ourselves tonight. Divine Visitation. Ooh, this is another juicy one. If one or more creature tokens would be created, that many angels are created instead. Beautiful. Foil retro. Divine Visitation. Gorgeous card. Sick card. Love it, love it, love it. Tidespout Tyrant. Very fun. Very fun, very cool. Look at that. Animate Tidespout. Whenever you cast a spell, return target permanent to its owner's hand. Absolutely ridiculously mean control card. Hot diggity dog. Spark Double. Hey, this is another reprint we wanted to see. This effect is so good simply because it's a clone that doesn't make it legendary. You can copy your commander. Double your commander effect. Spark Double. Spark Double. Amazing combo piece. Amazing combo piece. So glad to see it reprinted. Thank you. Woohoo! Woohoo! Yeah. Here, talk about commander favorites. Old folks. Foil Lord of the Void? Dude, Lord of the Void is so fun in Commander. When he deals combat damage to a player, exile their top 7 cards, then put any creature card from among them on the battlefield. You want to do that to your opponent in Commander. That guy's playing Eldrazi? Yes, I will take your Emrakul. This guy's playing combo? Yes, I'm going to take your Rex Sage and destroy your combo piece with your own Rex Sage. Like Lord of the Void, man. Love it. Dope. Dope. Gutter Snipe, Shambling Shell, the Dredge poster boy, face fetters in the old school frame, looking great, looking like an old card. See, it was in a different era of Magic's art. Like when you look at this face fetters, that feels like an old card because the art is like the older style. Love it. Ultimate Price, Funeral Rebirth, but okay. Judge is familiar. Not a bad card. It's a 1/1 flying that counters a spell. I mean, it's Mana Tithe on a bird. And it's easier to cast. It's blue or white. And it's a body. Like, it really is Mana Tithe on a bird. It just doesn't function the same because it doesn't come out of your hand and catch them. All right. Last pack. We've gone off. So what do we got? Void Slime. Wow, man. This used to be an expensive, crazy, hard to get card too. New art on Void Slime there. Not sure the choice they made on that. The old one was pretty cartoony and fun. I thought it was a Kev Walker as well, but beautiful foil Void Slime. Not bad at all. We like to see it. And, oh, there it is, Pack Rat. I was talking about our boy, Pack Rat. This card used to dominate Standard. I'm telling you kids right now. Go Google, like, Pack Rat Standard or Pack Rat PTQ. This card is like one of Pro Tour, I guarantee you. Power and toughness equal to Rats, but discard a card, create a token that's a copy of Pack Rat. This card was problems back in the day. Like, the end game would just evolve to, I'm going to Pack Rat you now, and you'd be like, darn it, yeah. Beautiful. Bottled Cloister. That's another fun card we haven't seen since. Has this card ever been reprinted? I'm not sure. At the beginning of each opponent's upkeep, exile all cards from your hand face down. And the beginning of your upkeep, return all cards you own. So, I mean, there's some fun hijinks you can probably get around this to be drawing extra cards and abusing it. And Thrash and Threat. Silly. 4 mana to make a beast token. That's crap. Target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to target creature, or, this is good. This is a bite, not a fight effect. So those are good because you don't take damage back. So this is probably playable in some commander decks. The right ones. Threat, we're going to say no. We're going to pass. Cloudfin Raptor. Ooh, Utopia Sprawl. They've been reprinting this now, though. This is cheap, but shout out to those OG Nixthos decks that with friggin' Crater Hoof. So love that deck. Love that deck. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much for joining me. I've gone on way too long. If we want to recap, we absolutely went to the moon and back. Serialized Kranko Mob Boss. Friggin' love it. 2 Cyclonic Rifts, Retro Frame and Anime, Foil Anime Bruvac, a Cloudstone Curio, and a Pack Rat. Some of our other big anime hits are going to be Tidespout Tyrant, Cryptghast, another Kranko, and a beautiful, look at that bop. Oh my gosh. And for the box, we got hey, Lord of the Void, love it. Divine Visitation, love it. And for the box, very, very happy to report, hey, 5. So not the most extreme, but not bad. 2 full art, 3 full art, a full art foil, and foil retro frame with this. That's the old art. That's like the OG Blood Crypt, isn't it? Anyhow, thank you so much for watching me. We absolutely went off. And did we EV? Is it inverted? This was ridiculous. So thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed the video. If I'm blathering too long, watch it on 1.2 speed next time. Catch you on the next one. More of this to come. Peace.